Our choice of words often depends on whom we're addressing. We might say the same message in two very different ways to two different people. Think about greetings as an example. Hi, hey, what's up? Morning, good morning. They feel different, even though they kind of all mean the same basic thing, right? The key to our word choice is how we view our relationship with that other person. A good example of this is beverage and drink. These are both nouns, right? They mean the same thing. It's a liquid that you consume. But these words don't feel the same. The usage might be different, right? I mean, if a friend comes to your house, you say something like, "Can I get you a drink?" And on the airplane, we hear something like, "A beverage service is about to commence." In this context, if we said, "Can I get you a beverage?" it's like we're trying to be funny, right? And here, if the flight attendant started talking about drink service, it just might feel weird. So, when we think about this difference, why do we say beverage on the airplane, and why do we say drink, in our kitchen? The response that students tend to give is that, well, drink is informal and beverage is formal. And you hear this a lot. So that's why it helps to think about McDonald's. All right, here's a photo of McDonald's on MacArthur Boulevard in Oakland, California. If you go to McDonald's, and you'll know it's a very casual place, right? It's not the sort of place you have to dress up to go. But the sign on the wall, here's a photo on Yelp of that same McDonald's. The sign's called beverages. And this kind of surprises people sometimes. But you have to think about the relationship between workers and customers at McDonald's. It's very, very impersonal, right? I mean, it's almost like robotic. The workers there aren't there to get to know you, right? They don't introduce themselves. They don't ask your name or how you're doing. They follow a script. Welcome McDonald's. May I take your order? Would you like to add fries to that? Right? And they're not there to get to know you. Now, other restaurants you go and the atmosphere is completely different. The waiters are hustling for tips, and they are trying to be friendly and get to know you. "Oh, hey, welcome to Mama's Place. My name's Tony. Have a seat. How you guys doing today? Can I get you started with some drinks?" And it's all about that relationship, the perceived relationship between whoever's talking and whoever's listening. And it really, formality doesn't have anything to do with it. That's not really a good way to think about it. And another good example are the signs that we see. You see signs like this all the time. Why are they saying no drinks? Well, it's because really they don't. It's not that they're trying to be formal. They don't know you. That's why we get that kind of language. And this isn't really a matter of context, right? I mean, you look at the people in this photograph, and they're all wearing suits, right? And they're coworkers. But whether they say beverages or drinks to each other doesn't have to do with whether they're wearing a bathing suit or a business suit, so much as how they feel about each other. If they feel like there's some sort of personal connection, then that's the word they're going to use. They're going to use a word like drink that reflects that. So that's the kind of the key takeaways here is that we describe language as formal or informal. That's not accurate. Personal or impersonal. That's the right way to think about it. And again, context is not as important as the relationship between the writer and the reader, or the speaker and the listener. And what's tricky about this is that relationships become more personal over time, right? You get to know people. And as relationships become more personal, so does the language used in them. Okay, now we're socially complex creatures, and we're good at dealing with this. The problem is when we are writing, okay? Because the reader only exists in our minds in many cases, and it's hard to manage that relationship. So one thing that's easy to do, that makes this easier to do, is to actually conceptualize a reader. It might be someone you know. It might be a good friend. It might be someone that you kind of know, like someone that you have seen in class but you don't really know. Or it might be someone that you don't know, or it might just be all these people, But if you can have someone in mind, like maybe it's that lady or this guy, if you can hold this person in your mind, it will help you kind of draw on your natural social ability to maintain a consistent and appropriate tone. Let's look at how we can achieve this in our writing.